Most people don't realize the strength they have inside them. Not because it isn't there, but because they've never been forced to see it. They've spent their whole lives underestimating themselves, settling for what's comfortable, believing the stories they've been told about who they are and what they're capable of. But let me tell you something. You are stronger than you know. You've survived every single hardship life has thrown at you. You've faced disappointment, heartbreak, failure, yet here you are still standing. If you really stop to think about everything you've overcome, you'd see that strength has been with you all along. The problem isn't that you're weak. The problem is that you've been conditioned to believe that you are. Maybe someone told you that you weren't smart enough, talented enough, worthy enough. Maybe life knocked you down so many times that you started to believe you belonged on the ground. But here's the truth. You are not stuck, you are just unaware of your potential. Think about a lion raised in a cage. It doesn't matter how powerful that lion is. If it's never seen the wild, it won't know it was born to rule it. The same goes for you. You've been living inside the walls of your own doubt. But that cage isn't locked. It never was. It's time to wake up to your own power. Because the moment you do, everything changes. There's a difference, a massive difference, between being alive and actually living. Too many people wake up, go through their routines, check their emails, scroll through their phones, and call it a day. They do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. But let me ask you something. Is that really living? Existing is easy. It's automatic. It's like being a leaf floating down a river, going wherever the current takes you. But living? Living is about taking control of the boat, steering it where you want to go, refusing to be a passenger in your own story. Are you truly making choices, or are you just reacting to life? Think about it. When's the last time you did something that scared you? Something that made your heart race? Something that challenged you? Too many people move through life on autopilot, letting circumstances dictate their direction. They wait for the right time, the perfect opportunity, and guess what? It never comes. This is the silent epidemic. Millions sleepwalking through their own existence. They settle for jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, routines that suffocate them. They convince themselves that this is just how life is. But it's not. Life is what you make it. The question is, are you ready to start living? 400. If you don't wake up, life will make the decision for you. That's the hard truth. Time doesn't stop. Opportunities don't pause. The world keeps moving, with or without you. And if you keep waiting for the perfect moment, the right conditions, or a sign from the universe, you'll wake up one day wondering where your life went. How many times have you said, I'll do it someday, I'll start that business someday, I'll get in shape someday, I'll chase my dreams someday. But let me tell you something, someday is a ghost. It's an illusion. It's the excuse we tell ourselves to avoid discomfort, to dodge responsibility, to justify standing still. And while you're waiting, life is making choices for you. It's filling the space with obligations, distractions, and routines that pull you further from the life you want. The urgency is real, the clock is ticking, there is no pause button, no rewind, no do-overs. People waste years waiting for the right time, only to realize too late that time never waits for them. If you don't take control now, you may never get the chance. So the question is, are you going to let life decide for you, or are you finally ready to take the wheel? 4-0. There comes a moment in life when everything changes. Not because the world shifts, but because you do. A single decision, a single commitment, a single act of courage can alter the entire course of your future. This is that moment, right here, right now. By the end of this, you won't just think differently, you will be different. Not because I said so, but because deep down, you know it's time. You feel it. You're standing at a crossroads. One path leads to the same cycles, the same excuses, the same wasted potential. The other leads to a version of you that refuses to be defined by past failures, by doubt, by fear. Let me ask you, are you going to rise up, or are you going to stay asleep? Are you going to keep watching others take action while you wait for the right time, or will you finally claim what's yours? This isn't just another day, this is your turning point. Because when you finally decide, truly decide, that enough is enough, nothing can stop you. Not circumstances, not opinions, not fear. So what's it going to be? Will you change, or will you stay the same? 400. Nobody is coming to save you. No one is going to knock on your door and hand you success, confidence, or the life you dream of. Because power, real power, is not given, it's taken. Let me tell you something. The difference between people who succeed and people who stay stuck isn't talent, it isn't luck. It's the willingness to claim what's theirs instead of waiting for someone else to approve it. Too many people sit around hoping for a sign, waiting for the perfect opportunity, waiting for someone to pick them. But that's how you stay trapped. That's how dreams turn into regrets. Think about it. How many times have you said, I'll start when I'm ready, or I'm waiting for the right moment? Guess what? There is no right moment. The people who win in life are the ones who stop waiting and start taking. They take the first step before they feel ready. They take action even when they're scared. They take responsibility for their future instead of blaming their past. You don't need permission to become who you were meant to be. You don't need someone to say, now's your time. You decide that, right here, right now. So stop waiting, stop hesitating. Step up, take what's yours. Because if you don't, someone else will. 4-0, you think power is something out there, something you have to find, something you have to earn, something someone else has to give you? Think again. The power you're looking for has always been inside you. The problem? Most people don't believe it. They've been conditioned to think they're less than, that they need someone else to validate them, that they need the right timing, the right circumstances, the right luck. But here's the truth. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the way you think. Your belief system is either your greatest weapon or your biggest enemy. If you believe you're powerless, you'll act powerless. If you believe you're not good enough, you'll never take the risk that could change your life. But the moment you shift your mindset, when you start believing that you are capable, worthy, and strong, everything changes. Look at the most successful people in the world. They weren't born special. They weren't handed a golden ticket. What separates them from the rest? Belief. They decided to trust in their own power. They decided to take control of their destiny instead of waiting for permission. So ask yourself, what do you believe? Are you waiting for someone to save you, or are you ready to save yourself? The power has always been there. The question is, will you finally use it? 4-0, I'm not ready. I don't have the time. I'm not good enough. Sound familiar? These are the lies we tell ourselves every single day. And the worst part, we believe them, we accept them as truth without ever questioning them. But let me tell you something, those thoughts, they're not facts, they're chains. And you're the one holding the key. Think about it. How many opportunities have you let slip away because you told yourself you weren't ready? How many dreams have you pushed aside because you convinced yourself you didn't have the time? How many times have you held back, stayed silent, or played small because you believe you weren't good enough? Now, let's be real. If you keep believing these lies, nothing changes. You stay stuck, trapped in the same cycle, watching others move forward while you sit on the sidelines. But the moment you decide to challenge these thoughts, everything shifts. Every great achiever, every person who has ever made it had these same doubts. The difference? They refused to let those thoughts control them. They acted before they felt ready. They found the time instead of making excuses. They believed in themselves before the world ever did. So the question is, are you going to keep believing the lies, or are you going to break free? Because the door to your future is already unlocked. You just have to step through it. 4001 choice, one moment. That's all it takes to alter your entire trajectory. Think about it. Every success story, every breakthrough, every transformation you've ever heard of started with a decision. A moment where someone said, enough. I refuse to stay where I am. I refuse to accept less than what I'm capable of. But here's the problem. Most people wait. They wait for the right time, the right feeling, the perfect circumstances. And while they wait, life passes them by. What if you stopped waiting and started acting? What if instead of hoping for change, you created it? What if you took full responsibility right now and made the decision to step into your power? Because let me tell you something, nobody is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the life you want. But the moment you decide, truly decide to take control, that's the moment everything changes. Say it now. I decide today. I claim my power. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Because the life you want, the success you crave, the strength, confidence, and fire you know is inside you, it doesn't come from wishing. It comes from choosing, from acting, from refusing to settle for anything less than your full potential. And the only question left is, will you make that decision today? 400. Most people don't fail because they lack talent, intelligence, or opportunity. They fail because they settle. They settle for what's easy. They settle for what's familiar. They settle because pushing forward, demanding more, is uncomfortable. And let's be real, comfort feels good. Staying in the same routine, avoiding risks, and playing it safe, it's easy. But do you know where that road leads? Nowhere. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who settled in life and was truly happy? Someone who gave up on their dreams, ignored their potential, and said, yeah, I love my life? No. Because deep down they know. They know they could have done more. They know they could have been more. But they let fear, doubt, and excuses hold them back. And maybe right now, you're at that crossroads. You feel that pull, the desire for more, but you also feel the weight of uncertainty, the fear of failing, the discomfort of change. Let me tell you something, growth is painful. Pushing yourself beyond what you thought was possible hurts. But do you know what's worse? Regret. Regret will haunt you. It will keep you up at night whispering, what if? What if I had tried harder? What if I had believed in myself? What if I had just taken that risk? And by the time you realize it, it's too late. So ask yourself, do you want temporary discomfort or a lifetime of regret? Because in the end, you don't get to avoid pain, you just get to choose which kind. 400, be honest with yourself. 5 years ago, you had dreams, goals, a vision for your future. You told yourself you would be further along, in better shape, in a better job, making more money, living a life that actually excites you. So what happened? Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they play small, they shrink their dreams, they take the safe route. And the worst part, they justify it. They say, now isn't the right time. I just have too much going on. Maybe next year. But let me tell you something. The biggest dream killer isn't failure. It's fear disguised as logic. It's that voice in your head convincing you that settling is the smart thing to do, that playing small is practical, that not taking the risk is responsible. But is it? Or is it just fear controlling you? Because here's the truth. If nothing changes, 5 years from now will look exactly the same. The same struggles, the same excuses, the same feeling of being stuck. And that should terrify you. Time doesn't stop, it doesn't wait for you to feel ready. And the more you hesitate, the more opportunities you lose. So ask yourself, are you really okay with this? Waking up 5 years from now in the exact same place, feeling the exact same regret? Or are you ready to break the cycle? To stop waiting, to stop making excuses, to stop letting fear dictate your future? Because the cost of playing small isn't just lost time, it's losing who you were meant to become. 400, the pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. Right now you have a choice. You can put in the work, push through discomfort, and stay committed to your goals. Or you can take the easy route, avoid the struggle, make excuses, and stay exactly where you are. One choice costs you some effort today. The other, it costs you everything tomorrow. Because here's what people don't realize. Avoiding discomfort doesn't make life easier. It makes it harder. You skip the workout today, but one day you wake up hating the person in the mirror. You put off chasing your dream, and years later, you're stuck in a job you despise. You avoid the risk. And suddenly, life feels like a cage you built with your own two hands. And the worst part? Regret isn't just painful. It's permanent. You can't undo time. You can't go back and rewrite the years you wasted. Ask anyone at the end of their life, and they'll tell you they don't regret the things they tried and failed at. They regret the chances they never took, the dreams they buried, the potential they let slip away. Don't let that be your story. Make the hard choice today so you don't have to live with the weight of regret tomorrow. This is your crossroads. Stay where you are or fight for where you want to be. Every great story has a moment where everything changes. A moment when the hero is faced with a choice. Stay in the comfort of the familiar or step into the unknown and chase something greater. Right now, this is your moment, your turning point. Because life doesn't wait. The clock is ticking, whether you take action or not. And if you keep putting off change, one day you'll wake up and realize you never lived. You just existed. But here's the truth. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to make one bold decision. One decision to stop making excuses. One decision to push past fear. One decision to bet on yourself even when no one else does. Which will you choose? The pain of regret or the pain of discipline? Because either way, there will be pain. The only difference is that one lasts a moment and the other lasts a lifetime. This is the moment that defines you. What are you going to do with it? 400, inside you there is a fire, a force waiting to be unleashed. A strength you haven't even begun to tap into. But for most people, that power never sees the light of day. Not because it isn't there, but because they keep waiting for the right moment. Let me tell you something, there is no right moment. There is no perfect time. And that belief that you need to be ready before you take action, it's a lie. A lie that keeps people stuck in the same place for years, sometimes even for life. How many dreams have died because someone told themselves, I'll start when I have more time? How many opportunities have been lost because people said, I'll do it when I'm more confident? Let me ask you, what if the confidence you're waiting for only comes after you start? That's the truth. Readiness isn't something you wait for. It's something you become by stepping into the fire, by taking that first step before you feel prepared. Because action creates readiness, not the other way around. Think about the greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, or innovators. Do you think they felt ready when they started? No. They took action, stumbled, learned, and became ready in the process. They didn't wait, they moved, and because they moved, they grew. So, what about you? Will you let your potential sit there, locked away, waiting for a moment that will never come? Or will you take that first step, even if it's small, and prove to yourself that you don't need to be ready, you just need to begin? Your inner power is waiting. The only question is, will you use it? 400. Fear is a liar. It whispers in your ear, telling you that you can't when you absolutely can. It convinces you that you're not good enough, not ready, not capable. And if you listen to it even for a second, it will wrap itself around your potential like a snake, squeezing the life out of your dreams before they even have a chance to breathe. Let me tell you the real enemy of success. It's not failure, it's hesitation. It's that moment when you almost take the leap, but then you stop yourself. When you almost speak up, but you stay quiet. When you almost chase your dream, but fear convinces you to wait just a little longer. That hesitation, that's the slow death of ambition. Because every time you hold back, fear wins. Think about this. How many times have you doubted yourself and later realized you were capable all along? How many opportunities have you let slip away because fear made you question your worth? Now imagine where you'd be if you'd just gone for it. If you had ignored the doubt, silenced the fear, and taken action anyway. Here's the paradox of fear. It shrinks when you move forward, but it grows when you wait. Every time you take action, no matter how small, fear loses its grip. But the longer you hesitate, the stronger it becomes. It's like a shadow. It looks huge when you stand still, but the moment you step toward it, it fades. So, what are you afraid of? Failing? Being judged? Let me tell you something. Fulfill your dreams, but hesitation will. Because failure teaches, but hesitation paralyzes. The only way to destroy fear is to confront it. Not next week, not when you feel ready, right now. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to take the first step. Fear is a liar, don't believe it. 4-0, repeat after me. I am powerful, I am unstoppable, I am ready. Say it again, louder, feel it. Because the way you speak to yourself determines the way you show up in the world. Your words shape your reality. If you keep saying, I'm not ready, guess what? You'll never be ready. If you keep thinking, I'm not good enough, that belief will control you. But the moment you decide right now that you are strong enough, capable enough, ready enough, everything shifts. Because confidence isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. Do you know what fuels motivation? Movement. Not thinking, not planning, moving. Right now, wherever you are, sit up straight, stand tall, plant your feet, take a deep breath. That simple act sends a signal to your mind, I am in control. Because when you change your posture, your energy shifts. When you move forward, even with uncertainty, momentum starts working in your favor. Too many people wait for a perfect moment to step up. But let me tell you something. That moment doesn't exist. The moment you stop hesitating is the moment your life changes. One action, one decision, one step forward, that's all it takes to break the cycle of doubt. So what's it going to be? Will you keep waiting, keep hoping, or will you rise up, Take control and step into the power that's been inside you all along. Say it one more time. I am powerful. I am unstoppable. I am ready. Now prove it. 4-0. Think about that. Every single day you set the bar for your own life. Not by what you say you want, but by what you accept. If you tolerate being out of shape, you'll stay out of shape. If you tolerate negative people, they will drain your energy. If you tolerate excuses, you will never break through. Low standards don't just keep you stuck, they cost you your potential. They keep you trapped in cycles of mediocrity, convincing you that good enough is enough, but it's not. Not if you want more. Not if you want to become the person you're truly capable of being. Look at any successful person and you'll see one thing in common: non-negotiable expectations. They don't wait for motivation. They don't hope things get better. They demand more from themselves every single day. So ask yourself, where have I been settled? The rest will follow. 4-0-0, everybody says they want success. Everybody dreams of a better life. But let me ask you, are you proving it? Because wanting something means nothing if your actions don't back it up. There's a gap between where you are and where you want to be. And the only thing that will close that gap is action. Not planning, not wishing, action. But here's the problem. Most people hesitate. They overthink. They wait for the right moment. And in that hesitation, momentum dies. Doubt creeps in. The opportunity passes. Successful people, they don't wait. They move. They take action before they feel ready. They know that motion creates motivation, not the other way around. So here's your challenge. Make one bold move today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Send that email. Sign up for that class. Start that project. Do something that forces progress. Because if you keep waiting, you'll keep wasting time. No more excuses, no more hesitation. Move now, your future depends on it. 4-0. Your mind is powerful. The stories you tell yourself shape your life. And for too many people, that story is full of limits, doubt, and fear. They say, I've never been good at this. I'll never succeed. That's just who I am. And guess what? They're right. Not because it's true, but because they've convinced themselves it is. Successful people don't have some magic ability that you don't. What they do have is a different story. A story that says, I am capable. I am built for this. I can figure it out. They don't wait for proof to believe in themselves. They decide first, and then they create the proof. So here's your challenge. Rewrite your internal script. Identify the biggest self-limiting belief that's holding you back and flip it. Replace it with a statement of power. Say it every single day until it's no longer something you wish were true, it's who you are. Because your story isn't just words, it's the foundation of your future. Change the story and you change everything. 4-0-0, too many people act shocked when life gets tough. They hit a setback and say, why me? Let me tell you something, the challenges are not the exception, they are the rule. The difference between winners and everyone else? Winners don't run from failure, they embrace it. They don't see obstacles as roadblocks, they see them as tests, lessons, proof that they're in the game. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Did they give up? No, they used failure as fuel. Every setback carries a lesson. Most people are too busy complaining to see it. Not you. Today I want you to take one failure from your past, one time you fell short, and ask yourself, what did it teach me? How did it make you stronger, smarter, better? Because resilience isn't about avoiding failure, it's about owning it, learning from it, and coming back stronger. So when life knocks you down, good. That's your cue to rise. 4-0-0, your energy, your emotions, your body language, control them, and you control everything. Ever notice how champions walk? How they stand? Shoulders back, head high, focus. They own every room they step into. That's not an accident, that's state control. Let me tell you something. Your mind follows your body. If you slump your shoulders, drag your feet, and mumble your words, your brain says we're tired, we're weak, we're defeated. But if you stand tall, breathe deep, and speak with confidence, your brain wakes up and says, we're strong, we're powerful, we're ready. Science backs this up. Studies show that changing your posture, breath, and movement can instantly shift your emotions. Olympic athletes do it before competing. Navy SEALs do it before missions. Why? Because the way you move controls the way you feel. And you can do it right now. Get up, roll your shoulders back, take a deep breath in, hold it, now let it out. Speak with certainty. Move like someone who knows they belong in the winner's circle. Because when you control your state, you don't wait for confidence. You become it. And once you own the moment, there's nothing you can't do. 4-0. Right now, at this very moment, you stand at a crossroads. Two paths stretch before you. One leads to the same old life, the same struggles, the same excuses, the same maybe one day mindset. The other, that's the path of change, of action, of stepping up and finally becoming the person you know you're meant to be. So let me ask you, are you just listening or are you actually changing? Because there's a big difference. Inspiration feels good. It fires you up. It makes you nod your head and say, that's right, I should do this. But feelings don't change lives, actions do. Think about it. How many times have you been motivated only to do nothing with it? How many times have you promised yourself, this time I'll commit, and then let life pull you right back into your comfort zone? This is that moment, that fork in the road. You can stay where you are, no one will stop you. But if you want more, if you want real transformation, then there's only one choice. Take action right now. No more waiting, no more excuses. Because the truth is, your future is being written in this moment. Which path will you take? 4-0. You've heard the words. You've felt the energy. Maybe you're even fired up right now, ready to take on the world. But here's the question that really matters. Will you actually do something with it? Most people walk away from moments like this inspired, but unchanged. They feel the motivation, they get the rush, and then nothing. They go right back to their old habits, their old patterns, their old excuses. And weeks later, they wonder why their life still looks the same. That's because motivation alone doesn't change your life. Action does. The harsh truth is this: dreams don't work unless you do. You can visualize success all day, but if you're not willing to take the steps, the real, sometimes uncomfortable, sometimes scary steps, then nothing will happen. But here's the good news. You don't need a massive overhaul overnight. Change starts with one small shift, one decision, one action. And the moment you take it, momentum kicks in. So don't just walk away inspired, walk away transformed. Start now, right now. Because your future self is waiting and it's counting on you to take that first step. 4-0, let me tell you something. Your past is a chapter, not the whole book. Too many people walk around carrying the weight of their mistakes, their failures, their disappointments, as if they're shackled to them forever. They let their past dictate their future instead of fueling it. But here's the truth, your past only has power if you keep giving it power. Maybe you've failed before, maybe you've made bad choices, maybe life hit you so hard that you started believing this is all you'll ever be. But that's a lie. The only way your past can define you is if you let it. Every single day you have a choice. To stay stuck in yesterday or to build a new tomorrow. Your past does not own you, your mistakes do not own you, you own you. And the moment you realize that, you take back control. 4-0. Right now you have a decision to make. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Are you going to keep wishing, keep hoping, keep waiting, or are you going to commit? Because that's the difference between the ones who make it and the ones who stay stuck. The ones who succeed decide to. Commitment isn't a feeling. It's not about waiting until you feel ready. It's a choice to step up, to do the work, to push through even when it's hard. Most people hesitate, trapped in a cycle of excuses. But if you want real change, you can't afford to wait. So commit right here, right now. Say it to yourself, I will do this. Because until you commit, nothing changes. But the moment you do, everything does. Real growth starts with a single step. Take it now, people. Dream about change. They imagine a better life, a stronger body, a sharper mind, more success. But do you know what separates those who grow from those who stay the same? Action. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step. And that's where most people fail. They overthink. They wait for the perfect time. But let me tell you something. There is no perfect time. The only time is now. Maybe your first step is waking up an hour earlier. Maybe it's applying for that job. Maybe it's finally putting your phone down and focusing on your goals. Whatever it is, do it now. Because the moment you take that first step, momentum kicks in. And momentum, that's where real growth begins. Writing it down makes it real. What's your commitment? A goal that's not written down is just a wish. And wishes, they don't build success. But the moment you put it on paper, suddenly it's real. Suddenly it's a promise. Think about this. Olympic athletes don't just say they want to win gold. They have a plan. They write down their training schedules, their diet, their goals. Every single detail, because success isn't random, it's intentional. So what's your goal? What are you committing to? Write it down. Not tomorrow, not later. Right now, when you see it in front of you, it becomes more than an idea, it becomes a mission. And once you write it, don't stop there. Look at it every day. Remind yourself why you started. Because when things get tough, and they will, that written commitment will remind you to keep pushing forward. Your future self is watching. What will they thank you for? Fast forward 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. Picture yourself standing there looking back on today. Will you be proud of the choices you made, or will you be filled with regret? The truth is, everything you do today shapes the person you'll become. Every workout, every late night grind, every moment of discipline, it all adds up. And your future self is counting on you. So ask yourself, what will they thank you for? Will they thank you for finally stepping up, for putting in the work, for staying committed when it got tough? Or will they look back and wish you had tried harder? The choice is yours. But remember this. Every action today is a gift to your future self. Make sure it's one worth unwrapping. 400, say it out loud right now. Whatever it is you want, whatever goal you're chasing, say it. Because if you can't even say it, how will you ever achieve it? Too many people whisper their dreams in silence, afraid of judgment, afraid of failure. But let me tell you something. If you don't own your vision, no one else will. The world doesn't give opportunities to those who stay quiet. It rewards those who have the courage to declare what they want and go after it with everything they've got. So stand up, speak up, own it. Because once you do, you've taken the first real step toward making it happen. Speak it, believe it, become it. Your words have power, more than you realize. What you speak over your life becomes your reality. If you keep saying, I'm not good enough, guess what? You'll believe it. But if you say, I am capable, I am strong, I will make this happen, that belief rewires your mind for success. Think about elite athletes. Before a big game, do they say, I hope I win? No, they declare it. They say, I will dominate, I will win. Muhammad Ali didn't just become the greatest, he called himself the greatest before the world even knew his name. So what are you speaking into your life? Fear or confidence? Doubt or determination? Change your words and you'll change your mindset. Change your mindset and you'll change your life. The power of declaration. Words shape reality. Every great achievement starts as a spoken declaration. Every record-breaking athlete, every world-changing entrepreneur, every person who transformed their life started with one statement. Look around you. Everything you see, every building, every invention, every breakthrough, started as a thought that someone spoke into existence. When Steve Jobs said, we're going to put a computer in every home, people laughed. But today, you probably have one in your pocket. So what are you declaring? Are you speaking your dreams into reality? Or are you keeping them locked away in your mind, too afraid to claim them? Speak boldly, declare your future, because what you say today shapes the life you'll live tomorrow. If you don't claim it, no one else will. Let me be clear, nobody's going to hand you your dreams. No one is waiting to give you permission. No one is coming to push you to the top. That's your job. If you don't stand up and say, this is mine, the world will pass you by. The people who succeed aren't necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They're the ones who step up and take what's theirs. Look at history. The greatest leaders, the most successful entrepreneurs, the most inspiring figures, they all had one thing in common. They claimed their place. They didn't wait. They didn't ask for approval. They decided they were worthy, and then they went and proved it. So what about you? Are you waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to chase your dreams? Or are you ready to claim what's already yours? Because if you don't, someone else will. And the only thing worse than failure is watching someone else live the life you were too afraid to fight for. 400, this is it. The moment where you decide who you're going to be. Not tomorrow, not next year, right now. You've come too far to stop. You've fought through too much to quit now. Whatever doubts, fears, or excuses you've been carrying, drop them. They don't serve you. This is your life, your chance, your time, and if you don't seize it, no one else will. So stand tall, step forward, and show the world what you're made of. You are more capable than you ever imagined. Let me tell you something. You have no idea what you're truly capable of. You think you've hit your limits? You haven't even scratched the surface. Think about every challenge you faced, every moment you thought you couldn't go on, but somehow you did. You got through the heartbreak, you survived the failure, you rose from the setbacks, and guess what? You're still here. Now ask yourself, do You've already overcome so much. What else are you capable of? What happens when you stop doubting, stop hesitating, and start unleashing your full potential? The answer? Anything. You can do anything, but only if you stop holding yourself back. The world needs you at full strength. Don't hold back. The world doesn't need a watered-down version of you. It doesn't need you playing small, hiding your talents, or second-guessing yourself. It needs you at full strength. Imagine if Thomas Edison had given up after his first failed attempt at the light bulb. Imagine if Oprah Winfrey had let rejection define her. Imagine if every great leader, every game changer, every visionary had held back because they were afraid. You have something unique to offer, a skill, a talent, a message, a purpose. And if you don't bring it to the world, it will be lost forever. So don't let fear keep you quiet. Don't let doubt keep you stuck. You owe it to yourself and to the world to rise up, step forward, and give everything you've got. Because you were never meant to be average. You were meant to be great. 400, how much longer are you going to wait? Another week, another month, another year? You keep telling yourself, I'll start when I'm ready. But let me tell you the truth. You'll never feel ready. There will always be doubts, always be fears, always be reasons to hesitate. And if you let them control you, you'll wake up one day realizing you've spent your whole life waiting. So stop waiting. Stop doubting. Stop playing small. The people who succeed in life aren't the ones who never feel fear. They're the ones who act anyway. They step forward even when they're unsure. They bet on themselves even when no one else does. You have that same power, that same fire inside you, but you have to make the choice to unleash it. No more excuses, no more delays. This is your moment. Go all in. Fear will always be there. Act anyway. Fear isn't going anywhere. It's not something you outgrow or outsmart. It will always whisper in your ear, always try to hold you back. But here's what most people don't realize. Fear is not the enemy. It's proof that you're stepping into something bigger than yourself. It's proof that you care, that you're pushing beyond what's comfortable. Think about the greatest athletes, the greatest entrepreneurs, the greatest leaders. Do you think they never felt fear? Of course they did, but they acted anyway. They refuse to let fear make their decisions for them. And that's what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's the ability to move forward despite the fear. So when fear shows up, don't run from it. Look it in the eye and say, you don't control me. Take action. Take the risk. Because fear only wins if you let it stop you. This is your time. Take it and run. How many opportunities have you let slip through your fingers? How many times have you watched someone else go after the very thing you wanted while you stood on the sidelines? Enough. No more waiting. No more watching. This is your time, your shot, your chance to take everything you've dreamed about and make it real. The people who make things happen aren't any different from you. They don't have some magic formula. They just decide that they're done waiting, done hesitating, done settling, and now it's your turn. So stop looking back. Stop overthinking. The clock is ticking, and life is not going to wait for you. Take the first step and then the next, and don't stop running until you've built the life you know you're meant for. 4-0.